Dr. Neri looked through her viewing screen at the blue planet below. Earth was so different from her home world. It was wet, colorful, and full of life. Her gray fingers moved over the control panel as she prepared her small ship to land. "Begin final approach to target area," she said to her ship's computer. Her voice was flat and empty of feeling, like all Siverans. The ship hummed as it cut through Earth's atmosphere. Neri checked her data one more time. She needed a human specimen for her research. Her people, the Siverans, were far more advanced than humans in technology and science, but they had lost something important long ago. Emotions. Siverans had removed emotions from themselves many generations back. They believed feelings made them weak and got in the way of scientific progress. Neri had never questioned this belief. She had never felt joy, sadness, love, or fear. She only knew cold, clear thinking. Her ship landed quietly in a forest at night. No one would see her here. Neri put on her breathing mask and stepped outside. The air felt heavy and warm compared to her ship. She carried a small device that would make any human she found fall asleep. Neri moved silently through the trees. Her scanner showed a human dwelling nearby, something humans called a cabin. Her data said it was far from other humans, perfect for taking a specimen without being noticed. The cabin was small and made of wood. Light glowed from one window. Neri moved closer and looked inside. She saw a young human male. He was alone, sitting at a table, writing in a book. The scanner showed his name was Ta. Subject is male, approximately 25 Earth years old. Appears healthy. Neri recorded into her data device. Living alone in isolated area. Suitable for collection. Neri waited until the light in the cabin went out. Then she used her tools to silently open the door. The sleeping human didn't hear her enter. In the darkness, Neri could see perfectly. She approached the bed where Ta slept and raised her sleep-inducing device. Suddenly, Ta's eyes opened. He saw her and jumped up with surprising speed. "What the?" he started to say, but Neri had already activated her device. Ta's eyes rolled back, and he fell onto the bed, unconscious. "Subject secured," Neri said to her recorder. Proceeding with transport to research vessel. Neri examined the sleeping human with curiosity. His skin was much darker than her gray-white skin. His face had features that were similar to Siveran's, but softer, less angular. She had never been this close to a human before. For a brief moment, something unusual happened. As Neri looked at Ta's peaceful face, she felt a small something. A tiny disturbance in her normally calm mind. It was gone so quickly she hardly noticed it. Neri shook her head. She needed to focus on her work. This human was nothing more than research material. His biological responses would help her understand how emotions affected physical health. The Siveran Science Council would be pleased with her work. She wrapped Ta in a transport field and floated him back to her ship. Once inside, she placed him in a special chamber that would keep him asleep until they reached the main research vessel orbiting Earth. As her small ship lifted off, Neri looked at the sleeping human through the glass of the chamber. Her research would bring her recognition among her people. This specimen was valuable. "Research subject secured and in stable condition," she recorded, returning to main vessel for full examination and study. The small ship rose into the night sky, leaving Earth behind. Neri didn't know that this human would change everything she understood about herself and her people. She didn't know that Ta would awaken something inside her that all Siverans thought was gone forever. She only knew her duty and her research. For now, that was enough. Ta woke up slowly. His head hurt, and bright light shined in his eyes. He tried to move his arms, but couldn't. He was strapped to a cold metal table. "The specimen is awake," a flat voice said. Ta turned his head. A strange woman stood nearby. Her skin was gray-white, and her eyes were large and silver. She didn't look human at all. "Where am I?" Ta asked, his voice shaking. "Who are you?" The alien woman moved closer. "You are on the Siveran research vessel," she said. "I am Dr. Neri. Chief Cynobiologist. You are my research subject. Ta pulled against the straps. Let me go. Take me back home. Dr. Neri didn't seem to notice his fear. She wrote something on a clear tablet. Interesting. The subject shows strong emotional response. Heart rate increased by 40%. Breathing patterns changed. Another alien entered the room. This one was taller with darker gray skin. Dr. Neri, is this the Earth specimen? The new alien asked. Yes, Dr. Jin. I collected him last night. He appears to be in excellent health. Dr. Jin looked at Todd with cold eyes. Good. The Council is eager to see your research on human emotional responses. Remember to keep proper distance. We don't want any contamination. Of course, Dr. Neri said. I understand the protocols. After Dr. Jin left, Neri turned back to Ta. I need to run some tests. It won't hurt much. Please, Ta said. I'm a person, not a thing to study. I have a life. A home. Neri tilted her head, confused. You are a research subject. Your feelings are not relevant to the study. For the next several hours, Neri ran tests on Ta. She took blood samples, scanned his brain, and showed him pictures to see how he reacted. Ta tried to talk to her, to make her understand he was a thinking, feeling person, but Neri only recorded his responses and took more notes. Finally, Neri pressed a button, and the straps released Ta. You will stay in this chamber, she said, pointing to a clear glass room connected to the lab. It has been adjusted to Earth conditions. Tay rubbed his wrists where the straps had been. Why are you doing this? What do you want from me? Severans removed emotions from our species long ago, Neri explained. We believed feelings made us weak and inefficient, but now some scientists wonder if this was a mistake. Your species has emotions, yet you survive. I want to understand how. Ta walked to the glass room. Inside was a bed, a small table, and not much else. As soon as he entered, the door sealed behind him. You can't just remove emotions, Ta said through the glass. They're part of what makes us human. Neri wrote this down. Interesting. You believe emotions are essential to your identity. Day after day, Neri came to the lab to study Ta. She watched him eat, sleep, and move around his small room. She asked him many questions about his feelings. Why did he feel sad when thinking about home? Why did he smile when talking about his friends? Ta tried to explain, but Neri always seemed confused. One day, Ta noticed something strange. When he told a story about his dog back on Earth, Neri's face changed slightly. It was tiny, but he saw her eyes soften for just a moment. Do you have animals on your world? Ta asked. We have creatures we study, Neri said. Not companions like your dog. That sounds lonely, Ta said. Neri paused. Loneliness is an emotion. Severans don't feel loneliness. But that night, after Neri left the lab, Ta saw her looking back at him from the doorway. Her silver eyes seemed troubled, as if she was thinking about something new and difficult. In her private quarters, Neri reviewed her notes. The human was affecting her work. She found herself thinking about his stories even when she should be focusing on data. This was not acceptable. She would need to be more careful. What Neri didn't realize was that change had already begun inside her. Small and silent, like a seed under snow, something was waking up. 2 weeks had passed since Tai arrived on the Severan ship. Each day was the same. Neri would come to the lab, run tests, ask questions, and record everything Tai did. But today was different. Tai woke up coughing. His chest hurt, and he couldn't breathe well. He pressed his hand against the glass wall. Help, he called weakly. Something's wrong. Neri entered the lab and saw Tai right away. His face was red, and he was on his knees, struggling to breathe. Interesting reaction, she said, taking notes. But then she checked her monitors. Tai's oxygen levels were dropping fast. This was not a normal response. Something was actually wrong with her specimen. Neri opened the glass door and went to Ta. She scanned him with her medical device. "Your body is rejecting something in our air," she said. "Even though we made it like Earth air, something is different." Tai couldn't answer. He was coughing too hard now. His lips were turning blue. For the first time, Neri felt something strange inside her chest. It was uncomfortable, like pressure. She needed to fix this problem quickly. "I need to get you to the medical unit," she said. She helped Ta stand and walk to another room down the hall. In the medical room, Neri worked fast. She gave Ta medicine to help him breathe and ran more tests. All the while, that strange feeling in her chest didn't go away. It made her work faster than normal. "Why are you helping me?" Tai asked between coughs. "I'm just a research subject, right?" Neri kept working. "If you die, my research ends. It's just logical to keep you alive." But inside, Neri wasn't sure if that was the only reason. For 3 days, Ta stayed in the medical unit. He was very sick. Neri rarely left his side. She adjusted his medicine, fixed the air in his room, and even brought him water when he was thirsty. Other Sivaran scientists noticed her behavior. "Dr. Neri, you're spending too much time with the human," Dr. Jin told her. "Assistant Sung can monitor him. You have other work to do." "The specimen requires careful observation," Neri replied. "His reaction is unique. I must document it fully." But the truth was, Neri didn't want to leave Tai alone. The pressure in her chest got worse when she thought about him dying. She didn't understand this feeling, but she couldn't ignore it. On the 3rd night, Ta's fever got very high. He was shaking and talking about things that weren't there. Neri placed cool cloths on his head. This was what humans did for sick people, according to her research. "Mom," Ta said, not seeing clearly. "Is that you?" "No," Neri said. "It's Dr. Neri." Ta's eyes seemed to focus for a moment. "You're still here," he said softly. "Thank you for taking care of me." Then Ta did something that changed everything. He reached out and took Neri's gray hand in his. Neri froze. Sivarans never touched each other except when necessary. Touch was considered inefficient and served no scientific purpose. But Ta's hand was warm, and when he squeezed her fingers gently, something happened inside Neri. The pressure in her chest changed. It spread through her body like warm water. It wasn't uncomfortable anymore. It felt good. Neri didn't pull her hand away. She sat there, letting Ta hold it until he fell asleep. When she was sure Ta was sleeping peacefully, Neri went to her private room. She looked at her hand where Ta had touched it. She felt different somehow, changed. That night, for the first time in her life, Neri dreamed. In her dream, she was walking with Ta through a green forest on Earth. She wasn't studying him. They were just walking together. And in the dream, Neri did something impossible for a Sivaran. She smiled. After Tay recovered from his illness, things changed between him and Neri. She no longer treated him only as a research subject. Now, she seemed curious about him as a person. Tay sat on his bed in the glass room, which was much more comfortable now. Neri had added soft blankets, some books, and even pictures of Earth she had taken during her mission. Neri entered the lab carrying a small device. "Good morning, Ta. How are you feeling today?" "Much better," Ta said with a smile. "Thank you for asking." Neri nodded and made a note, but Ta noticed she seemed different than before. Her eyes looked at him directly now, not just at her data screens. "I want to learn more about human culture," Neri said. "Not just your biological responses. Will you tell me about your life on Earth?" Tai sat up straighter. "I'd like that. What do you want to know?" "Start with something important to humans," Neri suggested. Tay thought for a moment. "Music. Music is very important to us." He began to sing the simple song his mother had taught him when he was young. Neri listened carefully. When Tai finished, she tilted her head. "The sound patterns are interesting, but why does music matter to humans?" "It makes us feel things," Tai explained. "Happy, sad, excited. Music connects to our emotions. Emotions again, Nari said quietly. They are so central to your species. Ta looked at Nari closely. Can I ask you something now? Why did your people get rid of emotions? Nari sat down in her chair. This was not a normal part of her research, but she answered anyway. Long ago, Siverans were much like humans. We felt many things, but these feelings caused problems. Wars, bad decisions. So our scientists found ways to change our brains. With each new generation, we felt less and less. Now, we only think clearly. No emotions cloud our minds. That sounds terrible, Ta said. You've lost so much. We gained much too, Nari replied. No wars, no crime. Great scientific progress. But no joy, Ta said. No love. Nari looked down at her hands. These concepts have no value in Siveran society. Over the next few days, they talked more and more. Ta told Nari about Earth holidays, family meals, and how people cared for each other. He described the feeling of swimming in the ocean, watching a sunset, and laughing with friends. In return, Nari taught Ta about Siveran history, their advanced science, and how their society worked. Tad was amazed by how much they had achieved, but sad about what they had lost. One day, Nari brought a small plant to the lab. It had silver leaves and a blue stem. This is from my home world, she told Ta. We study plants for medicine, but humans often keep plants for beauty. Is that the right word? Ta smiled. Yes, that's right. It is beautiful. I thought you might like it, Nari said, placing it in Ta's room. Then she added, Assistant Sung helped me select it. Ta noticed something in Nari's voice when she mentioned Sung. Who is Assistant Sung? A junior researcher. Nari paused. She sometimes asks unusual questions about humans, about emotions. Are there other Siverans who think emotions might be important? Tai asked. Nari looked around as if checking that they were alone. It's not something we discuss openly. But yes, some younger scientists wonder if removing emotions was a mistake. The Science Council doesn't approve of such questions. Tay touched the silver plant gently. Thank you for the gift, Nari. Nari looked startled. It's not a gift. It's just part of making your environment more suitable. But they both knew this wasn't true. It was something more, something that had no name in Siveran language, but was growing stronger every day. Later, in her quarters, Nari found herself sketching Ta's face instead of writing her research notes. She quickly erased it, confused by her own actions. Something was changing inside her, and it was both wonderful and frightening. 1 month had passed since Ta came to the ship. Nari sat in her private room, looking at her reflection in the mirror. Her silver eyes seemed different somehow. They moved more. They looked at things longer. This was not normal for a Siveran. Nari touched her face. Yesterday, when Ta had told a funny story about his childhood, her mouth had done something strange. It had curved upward, just a little. A smile. Siverans didn't smile. What is happening to me? She whispered. The door chimed. Nari quickly straightened her face and sat tall. Enter, she said. Assistant Sung came in. She was younger than Nari, with lighter gray skin and large eyes. Dr. Nari, I've brought the test results you asked for, Sung said, handing over a data tablet. Thank you, Nari said. She noticed Sung looking around the room curiously. Is there something else? Nari asked. Sung hesitated. May I speak freely, Dr. Nari? Of course. I've been watching your work with the human, Sung said quietly. He seems different from what we were taught about humans. He's not just an emotional creature. He's intelligent and kind. Nari felt her heart beat faster. This was dangerous talk. Be careful, Sung. Such observations are not scientific. But they're true, Sung insisted. And I've noticed changes in you too. Nari stood up quickly. There are no changes in me. I am a Siveran scientist. I do not change. Sung didn't argue, but her eyes said she didn't believe Neri. After Sung left, Neri sat back down, her hands shaking slightly. This was another new thing, shaking hands when she felt. What was this feeling? Fear, worry. Later that day, Neri went to the lab. Ty was reading one of the books she had given him. He looked up and smiled when she entered. "I was hoping you'd come by today," he said. Something warm spread through Neri's chest at his words. She liked that he wanted to see her. This feeling was pleasant. "I have more tests to run," she said, trying to sound professional. But she didn't take out any test equipment. Instead, she sat down near the glass wall. "Ta, what does it feel like when you're happy?" she asked. Ta put down his book. "That's a big question. Happiness feels warm, like light inside you. Your body feels lighter. You want to smile and be near others." "Why do you ask?" Neri didn't answer directly. "And when you miss someone who is not there, what is that feeling called?" "That's loneliness," Ta said. "Or if it's stronger, it might be grief." "And how does it feel?" "Heavy, dark, like something is missing that should be there." Neri nodded slowly. "I think I understand." Just then, the lab door opened. Dr. Jin walked in with two other senior scientists. Neri quickly stood up and moved away from Ta's room. "Dr. Neri, we've come to evaluate your research progress," Dr. Jin said coldly. One of the other scientists looked at Ta with hard eyes. "Is this the human specimen?" "The Science Council is interested in examining its brain structure. We should prepare it for neural tissue study." "Neural tissue study?" Neri asked. "That would kill them." The scientists looked at her strangely. "Of course it would terminate the specimen. That is the final phase of research." Neri felt something powerful rise up inside her. Her face grew hot, and her hands made fists without her even thinking about it. "No," she said firmly. "The subject is still providing valuable data. Termination would be premature and wasteful." Dr. Jin stared at Neri with suspicion. "Dr. Neri, you seem unusually concerned about this specimen. Perhaps you have been exposed to human emotional contamination. Report to medical for evaluation tomorrow." After they left, Neri looked at Ta. He had heard everything and stood close to the glass, his face full of fear. "They want to kill me," he said. "I won't let them," Neri replied. And she was surprised to discover she meant it completely. Neri didn't go to the medical unit the next day. She knew what they would find: changes in her brain that showed emotional development. Instead, she went straight to her lab. She needed to talk to Ta. When she entered, Assistant Sung was already there, talking quietly with Ta through the glass. "Dr. Neri," Sung said, jumping up. "I was just checking on the human's condition." "It's okay, Sung," Neri said. "I know you care about what happens to Tae too." Sung's eyes widened. Severans never admitted to caring about anything. It wasn't scientific. "You didn't report for your medical check," Sung said. "Dr. Jin is looking for you." "I know," Neri replied. She turned to Ta. "We don't have much time. They want to examine my brain because they suspect I'm developing emotions. If they find out I am, they'll remove me from this project. And," she paused. "And what?" Ta asked. "They'll put me through emotional reconditioning," Neri said. "It's a process that removes emotional responses. It's painful, and I don't want it." Ta pressed his hands against the glass. "Then you have to get away from here." "I can't leave you," Neri said. The words came out before she could stop them. Sung looked back and forth between them. "Dr. Neri, I've accessed Dr. Jin's files. They plan to take Ta for brain dissection tomorrow morning." Neri felt cold fear run through her body. "Then we need to leave tonight. Both of us." She looked at Sung. "All three of us." Sung stepped back. "Me? But I haven't shown emotional contamination." "Haven't you?" Neri asked. "Would a proper Sivaran be helping us right now?" Sung thought about this and slowly nodded. "You're right. I've changed too. She held up her data tablet. I have the security codes for the shuttle bay. We could take a small ship. Can you fly a ship? Ty asked. All Sivaran scientists are trained in basic flight, Neri said, but we need to plan carefully. For the next few hours, the three of them made plans. Sung would create a distraction in the main lab. Nari would get Ty out of his room and to the shuttle bay. Then they would escape together. As they were finishing their plans, the lab door suddenly opened. Dr. Jin walked in with 2 security officers. Dr. Neri, you failed to report for medical evaluation, he said coldly. His eyes moved from Neri to Sung, then to Ta. I see the problem is worse than we thought. Assistant Sung is also contaminated. The security officers moved forward. Neri stepped in front of Sung. We've done nothing wrong, Neri said. Emotional contamination is a serious violation, Dr. Jin replied. Both of you will undergo immediate reconditioning. He turned to the officers. Take them to medical. I'll prepare the human specimen for termination myself. One officer grabbed Sung. The other reached for Nari, but she moved quickly, dodging his hand. She ran to the control panel and hit the emergency button. Loud alarms began to sound, and red lights flashed everywhere. In the confusion, Nari pressed another button that opened Ta's room. Run, she shouted. Ta jumped out of his room. The security officer holding Sung let go to grab his weapon. Sung broke free and pushed the officer hard, knocking him into Dr. Jin. This way, Nari called, heading for the door. Tai and Sung followed her. As they ran through the hallway, more alarms sounded. A voice came over the speakers. Security alert. Escaped research subject. All personnel report to stations. The 3 fugitives ran through the ship's corridors. They had to reach the shuttle bay before security sealed all exits. We're going to make it, Ta said, running beside Nari. For the first time, Nari reached out and took Ta's hand as they ran. The warmth of his fingers gave her strength. Yes, she said. We will. But ahead of them, they heard the heavy sounds of security officers running their way. This way. Nari pulled Tai and Sung into a small side hallway as security officers ran past the main corridor. They pressed against the wall, holding their breath until the heavy footsteps faded. The shuttle bay is 2 levels down, Sung whispered, checking her data tablet. But they've blocked the main elevators. We can use the maintenance shafts, Nari said, pointing to a small door nearby. I studied the ship's layout when I first came aboard. They slipped through the door and found a narrow ladder going both up and down. The space was tight and dark, lit only by dim blue lights along the walls. Down we go, Nari said, starting to climb down the ladder. Todd followed her, and Sung came last, closing the door behind them. As they climbed down, the ship's alarms grew louder. Announcements echoed through the walls. All security teams to level 4. Find the escaped human and the contaminated scientists. They're searching level 4, Sung said. We're heading to level 6. We might have a chance. When they reached level 6, Nari carefully opened the door and looked out. The hallway was empty. They stepped out and moved quickly toward the shuttle bay. It's just around this corner, Nari said. Suddenly, a security officer appeared in front of them. Before he could raise his weapon, Tai jumped forward and pushed him hard against the wall. The officer fell to the ground, stunned. I didn't know you could fight, Nari said, surprised. I grew up in the mountains, Tai explained as they ran. Sometimes I had to defend myself against wild animals. They reached the shuttle bay doors, but they were locked. Sung tried the security codes on her tablet, but nothing worked. They've changed the codes, she said, her voice shaking. We can't get in. Nari looked around desperately. Then she noticed a small panel on the wall. The emergency override. If we can open that panel, I can rewire it. Ta helped Nari pull the panel open. Inside were many colored wires and blinking lights. Nari worked quickly, connecting and disconnecting wires. Hurry, Sung said, looking back down the hallway. I hear more security coming. Neri's fingers moved faster. One wrong connection could lock the doors permanently or even trigger an alarm. Sweat formed on her gray skin as she concentrated. I never thought I'd see a Siveran sweat, Ta said with a small smile. I never thought I'd feel fear, Neri replied. Or hope. With a final connection, the shuttle bay doors slid open. They ran inside to find 5 small shuttle craft waiting. That one, Sung pointed. It's fully fueled and ready for launch. They ran to the shuttle. Neri quickly started the engine while Sung closed the door behind them. But as they prepared to take off, the main bay doors started to close. They're sealing the bay, Ta shouted. Neri pushed the engine controls forward. The shuttle lifted off the ground and shot toward the narrowing exit. It was going to be very close. Hold on, she yelled. The shuttle scraped against the closing doors with a terrible noise. Metal screamed against metal. Sparks flew around them. For a moment, they thought they were stuck. Then suddenly, they were through, out into the blackness of space. Behind them, the massive Siveran research vessel grew smaller. We made it, Sung said, her voice filled with wonder. But their relief didn't last long. On the shuttle's radar, 3 small dots appeared. They're sending fighters after us, Neri said grimly. This shuttle isn't built for speed or fighting. Where can we go? Tai asked, looking at the stars around them. Neri turned to him, her silver eyes meeting his brown ones. Earth, we can go to your home. As Neri set the course for Earth, the shuttle shook violently. A warning light flashed on the control panel. They're firing at us, Sung reported. They hit our left engine. The shuttle began to spin, making it hard for Neri to control. More warning lights came on as systems failed. Can we make it to Earth? Tai asked. Neri looked at the damage reports. Maybe. But we need to lose those fighters first. She turned the shuttle toward a field of space debris ahead. It would be dangerous to fly through it, but it might be their only chance to escape. I hope you trust me, Neri said to Tai and Sung. With my life, Tai replied. And for the first time, Neri truly understood what trust meant. The shuttle raced toward the field of space debris. Broken parts of old ships, rocks, and ice floated in a thick cloud in front of them. Behind them, the 3 Siveran fighters followed, still firing. This is crazy, Sung said, holding tightly to her seat as the shuttle shook. We can't fly through that. They won't expect it, Neri replied, her hand steady on the controls. And they might not follow us. Ta looked at the debris field through the window. If anyone can do this, you can, Neri. Neri felt a warmth in her chest at his words. It gave her strength. She guided the damaged shuttle into the edge of the debris field. Large and small pieces of metal and rock floated all around them. One wrong move would mean crashing into something. The fighters are still following, Sung reported, but they're keeping more distance now. Neri moved the shuttle carefully between the floating objects. Sometimes they had only inches to spare. The shuttle's damaged engine made steering difficult, but Neri's focus was perfect. Suddenly, a large piece of metal appeared right in front of them. There was no time to go around it. Hold on, Neri shouted. She rolled the shuttle sideways to slip through a narrow gap. They made it, but the shuttle scraped against the metal with a terrible noise. New alarms sounded. The shuttle was now leaking air. Damage report, Neri asked, still concentrating on flying. Sung checked the computer. Hull breach in the rear section. I can seal it, but... She looked up with worried eyes. We lost most of our fuel. We can't reach Earth now. Tay's face fell. What do we do? Neri thought quickly. We need to hide somewhere and repair the shuttle. She pointed to a large asteroid ahead. There, we can land on the dark side where they can't see us. She guided the shuttle toward the asteroid. Behind them, the Siveran fighters were still searching, firing into the debris field. The shuttle landed roughly on the asteroid's surface. The engine died completely as Neri shut it down. Now we need to check the damage, she said. The three of them put on spacesuits and went outside to look at the shuttle. The damage was worse than they thought. The left engine was destroyed, and a large tear ran along the side of the ship. "We can repair the hull," Neri said, "but we need a new engine." She looked at the others. "And we only have enough air and power for one more short flight." They went back inside and removed their helmets. The air was getting thin as the life support systems struggled to work. "What are our options?" Ty asked. Neri looked at the star map. "There's a small Earth outpost on a moon not far from here. If we use all our remaining power, 2 people could reach it." "2 people?" Sung asked. "But there are 3 of us." Neri nodded slowly. "Someone needs to stay behind to manually launch the shuttle. The automatic system is damaged." They all fell silent, understanding what this meant. "I'll stay," Sung offered first. "No," Neri said firmly. "This was my plan. My responsibility." "Neri." "No." Ta grabbed her hand. "We can find another way." Neri looked at Ta, memorizing his face. "There is no other way. You and Sung need to warn Earth about what happened. The Siveran Council might see this as a reason to consider humans a threat now." Tay's eyes filled with tears. "I can't leave you here." Neri reached up and touched his wet cheek. "Tears," she said softly. "I've read about them, but never seen them before." "Please don't do this," Ta begged. Neri felt a deep pain in her chest, but also something else, a certainty that she was doing the right thing. "This is my choice, Ta. The first real choice I've ever made." She turned to Sung. "You'll need to pilot the shuttle to the Earth outpost. Can you do that?" Sung nodded, her own eyes now showing emotion. "I can." As they prepared the shuttle for its final journey, Neri worked quickly. She wrote down everything she had learned about Siveran weaknesses and gave the information to Ta. "This will help Earth if there's ever a conflict," she said. When everything was ready, the moment of goodbye came. "I never understood what humans meant by love," Neri said to Ta. "Now I think I do." Ta pulled her into a tight embrace. "I'll find a way back for you. I promise." 6 months had passed since Tai and Sung reached the Earth outpost. They were now living in a small village near the mountains where Ta had once had his cabin. Earth leaders had listened to their warnings about the Siverans and prepared quiet defenses, just in case. Ta stood on a hill each night, looking up at the stars. He had built a small observatory with equipment from the outpost. Sung had helped him set up special devices that could detect Siveran ships if they came near Earth again. "Any signals tonight?" Sung asked, bringing Tai a cup of hot tea. She had adapted well to life on Earth, even enjoying its food and drinks. "Nothing yet," Ta said, taking the cup. "But I'm not giving up." Sung nodded. She understood. In the months they had lived on Earth, she had seen how humans held on to hope, even when things seemed impossible. It was a quality Siverans had never valued, but now she was learning its power. "The village meeting is starting soon," she reminded him. "They want to discuss the new warning system." "I'll be there in a minute," Ta said. "Just one more scan." Sung left him alone with his equipment and thoughts. Ta adjusted the scanner, searching the area of space where they had left Neri. He had done this every night for 6 months. The scanner screen showed nothing but stars and space. Ta sighed and was about to turn it off when a small light blinked in the corner of the screen. He leaned closer. The light blinked again. It was moving, getting closer to Earth. Its pattern matched Siveran technology. Tay's heart beat faster. Was it Nari, or had the Siveran Council found Earth again? He grabbed his communicator. "Sung, get back here. I found something." Sung ran back up the hill. Together, they watched the small light move through space toward Earth. "It's too small to be a warship," Sung said, studying the signal. "It looks like a shuttle, similar to the one we escaped in." "Could it be her?" Tai asked, his voice full of hope. "I don't know," Sung replied, "but we should alert the outpost, just to be safe." They contacted the Earth outpost, who tracked the small ship as it entered Earth's atmosphere. Its path would bring it down near their village. Tay and Sung raced to the landing site, a field about a mile from the village. Other humans came too, some carrying weapons, just in case. The small shuttle appeared in the night sky, a bright light getting closer and closer. It shook as it entered the atmosphere, glowing red from the heat. Its landing doesn't look stable, Sung said with worry. The shuttle came down hard, sliding across the field and leaving a long line of burnt grass behind it. It finally stopped near a grove of trees. Everyone waited. The shuttle door didn't open. Something's wrong, Ta said. He couldn't wait any longer. He ran toward the shuttle. Ta, be careful, Sung called after him. Tay reached the shuttle and found the door release. With a hiss, the door opened. Smoke poured out. Ta covered his mouth and looked inside. A figure sat slumped in the pilot's seat. Gray skin, silver eyes now closed. It was Neri. Neri. Ta climbed in and touched her face. Neri, wake up. Her eyes fluttered open. For a moment, she seemed confused. Then she saw Ta. I found you, she whispered. Ta carefully helped her out of the shuttle. She was weak but alive. Sung ran up to them, her face showing amazement. How did you survive? Sung asked. After you left, Neri explained slowly, I found parts in the debris field. Fixed a small beacon. A passing trade ship found me. Ta held her close. I knew you would come back. Neri looked up at the blue sky, now turning pink with the sunrise. Earth's sun was coming up for the first time in her view. The warm light touched her face, and something amazing happened. Tears formed in Neri's silver eyes. Sciverans had never been able to cry, their tear ducts removed generations ago along with their emotions. But Neri was different now. It's beautiful, she said, watching the sunrise. I've studied hundreds of planets, but never seen anything like this. It's your home now, Ta said. More humans approached cautiously. Sung explained who Neri was and how she had helped them escape. There are others like me, Neri told them. Other Sciverans questioning the old ways. Some are secretly studying emotions again. They helped me find you. As the sun rose fully over the mountains, Neri stood with Tai and Sung, facing the village people. No longer a cold scientist. No longer an alien studying humans like specimens. She had found something the Sciverans had lost long ago. Something more valuable than all their advanced science. She had found her heart.